Hey guys, welcome back to Escape Roots Yoga. I'm Jodie Scarrow. This is our Thursday slowdown class for this week. First one of November, pretty excited about that. So what we're gonna be doing today is a deep stretch, but it will be working with the hips and we will use a foam roller. Now, if you don't have a foam roller, you can use a tennis ball, you can use a myofascial release ball if you have one of those. And if all else fails, I will give an option for the pose just without the roller. So today's class for happy hips is going to start in child's pose. Surprise, surprise. Big toes together, knees apart. And just begin to make your way forward, drawing your awareness into that hip region. So when we're working with the hips, from a physical perspective, we want to do lots of stretching, opening, and also closing. So fully using the versatile hip joint for everything it can do. And then when we're working with the hips from a yoga philosophy perspective, we're being very gentle. We're leaving space for emotions, leaving space for emotional releases, and just kind of carrying the knowledge with us that we typically hold a lot of trauma in the hips. So, with all of that information in mind, let's begin to draw the awareness to the hips, to the rib area. And just allowing the breath to expand the belly. And commit to working with yourself in kindness and with dignity for the remainder of this class. And when you're ready, roll your way into a tabletop position. You can take the knees so they're directly under the hips now, and we'll just take 3 cat-cows here. So dropping the belly, rolling the shoulders down the spine, lifting the heart, and really putting some emphasis on the hips today. So really shining the sit bones back behind you. Exhale, press the floor away, almost pushing the hips forwards a little bit here, noticing what that feels like. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, press the floor away. One more. Once again, keeping that focus on the hips. Inhale. And exhale. Awesome. From here, come back to that neutral spine. I will turn sideways so you can see this a little bit better. We're going to take the left leg out to the side, and we're going to drop the belly, roll the shoulders down the spine, lift the chest. So doing your same cow pose here with the leg out to the side, noticing the inner thigh and the opening for the hips. And then exhale, press the floor away. 2 more like that. Try to keep the right hip from swaying out to the side. Try to keep everything tucked in. Exhale, press the floor away. Last one, inhale. Exhale. From here, press into those hands, draw the shoulders away from the ears, and then just see if you can lift that left leg up. We're gonna stay here for 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down, we'll switch legs. Right leg goes out to the side now, trying to get the sole of the foot, the outer edge of the foot on the mat. Drop the belly, roll the shoulders down the spine, lift the chest, keeping those hips stacked. Exhale, press the floor away. 2 more like this. Inhale, drop the belly, noticing that inner thigh, the hip opening. Exhale, press the floor away. Last one. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, press the floor away. Beautiful. We're going to lift that right leg up now for 3, or 2, and and one. Good job. Lower down, knees come together. Let's swing the legs around in front of us. And here comes our foam roller. So we're just gonna take this roller, put it towards the top of the mat, and then kind of scoot your hips so you're on top of it. And take the right leg, cross it over the left. So you're in figure 4, but with your hands on the ground, you can face your fingertips forwards or back, like you would in inclined plane, just whichever feels best for your shoulders. And then from here, you're just gonna kind of rock from side to side until you find the spot. And what I mean by the spot, you will know when you find it. It's just a little section on the outside of the glute. And don't be afraid to stay once you make it there. So kind of rolling around here to find the sweet spot. When I find mine, my hips are kind of swaying out to the left and I'm pushing forwards a touch. So you're just looking for the spot. It's in the hip crease, kind of where your glute, the big glute, meets the baby glute, if you will. This row will require a bit of self-discovery, so don't be afraid to shop around for that section of the glute. Just keep rocking. And then once you've found it and you feel okay with it, we're gonna hop off the foam roller and just come into your figure 4 pose if you weren't already there without a foam roller. Taking a few moments here, you can drop the tailbone down towards the earth. Keep those feet dorsiflexed. And from here, let's release the hands. Let the sole of the right foot fall over to the right. Come into a twist on your back. And then the right thumb is going to be put to work here. So just bring it into the hip crease. And you want to make little circles in that hip crease. So kind of just massaging maybe the hip flexor, maybe a little further out to the side of the hip. You pick. Awesome. And then when you're ready, let's roll back onto the back. You're going to take hold of the outer edge of the right foot, but with the left hand. So you're in a bit of a crisscross action here. From here, the right hand can come out to the side, maybe in half a T. And then you're just going to begin to draw that right leg across the midline. So ideally, this left shoulder is dropping towards the ground, but don't worry if it's not quite there yet. And then staying here, keeping both hips grounded. You're gonna look over to the right, and then over to the left. Don't worry about keeping the knee straight, bent is fine. Over to the right, over to the left. Can you release a little more tension, maybe in the face, maybe in the neck, over to the right, maybe in that left leg, over to the left. Excellent work. From here, let's grab the outer edge of the right foot with the right hand now. Try for your happy baby, your half happy baby, I should say. Okay, let's release that right leg. Draw the right knee a little closer to the chest. So you're trying to get as much compression as you can in the low belly, in the hip. Beautiful. From here, right leg comes across the body into a supine twist. Trying to find a little bit of stretch in that external rotator. So don't be afraid to kind of move the leg around to find the sweet spot. And your gaze is going to go out to the right. Come back to the middle when you're ready. Send that right leg up towards the ceiling. Lifting the heel up towards the sky. Arms are going to come up overhead, so biceps by the ears. And then on your exhale, see if you can just lift that right leg up closer to your face. So we're using active flexibility here. Trying to draw the toe a little closer to the nose. Relax the neck, relax the face. Here for 3, 2, 1. Release. Use the hands now, walk them up the back of that leg, maybe all the way to the foot, if that feels good. Option here to take the 2-piece fingers around the big toe. Here for 3, 2, 1. Good job. Release that foot. Come down into a very brief Savasana. Adjusting the body so it's square and even. And just noticing how that right leg feels. Personally, mine is feeling pretty nice. That's okay if yours doesn't feel nice. Part of advanced yoga is accepting things as they are, accepting the body the way that it is, and meeting it on the mat each day, regardless of how different it may be than regular. When you're ready, introduce some movement into the fingers and toes. Interlace the hands overhead. Take a great big stretch. Inhale. Exhale, release. So good. Okay, let's make our way back up nice and slow to your seat. Grab your foam roller and we will do it all again on the other side. So this time, we're going to take the left leg, cross it over the right, and we're going to be working on that right glute. So, left glute. Left glute. Okay, so you might be sending your hips out over to the right a little bit. Hands are however feels good. I normally do fingertips back. And shop around for that little spot that feels like it needs to be foam rolled or tennis balled or release balled or you're just hanging out in your figure 4, whichever feels best. Breathe here. Awesome, and when you're ready, you can take that roller out from underneath you. Come down into your figure 4 with the excuse me, with the left leg bent. I think I have a little hair that has come from my mouth down to my throat. Sorry if that's gross. Stay here for a few seconds. And then once again, begin to rock the hips down towards the mat. Drawing the knee out to the side. Then when you're ready, tip the legs over to the right, coming into that twisted figure 4. And then we're gonna put the left thumb to work. So massaging maybe in the hip flexor area, or maybe a little bit further out to the side for that. Just continuously rocking that left hip down lower. You can take the left arm out to the side, and we'll look over to the right, over to the left, over to the right, over to the left. And then when you're ready, release the twist. You're going to grab hold of the outer edge of the left foot with the right hand. Extend that right leg down the mat. And you're just going to begin to draw that right leg across the midline. Once again, do not be worried about keeping this leg straight. We are trying to inch that shoulder down towards the mat. Just doing this version of this stretch that we would normally do with a strap, without for today. Maybe you'll find a new appreciation for yoga profs after this. Keep pulling that left hip down towards the mat. Maybe if those head rocks that we did in the previous pose are in this pose on the other side feel good, you can take those now. And when you're ready, let's release that right hand. Both arms can come out in a T now using active flexibility. We're gonna pull that left toe up towards the nose. We're here for 3, 2, relax the neck, relax the face. 1, release. Take that left hand, 2 peace fingers around the big toe, and just pull that leg back towards your head. If the big toe bind doesn't work for you, you can walk the hands up behind the leg. Do not worry, making no judgments of yourself here. We only come to the mat to feel good and to work through things and to improve. And being mean to yourself for poses you can't quite do yet or don't work on your body is not helping. Pull that toe in towards your face for 3, 2, 1. Release. Good job. Take hold of the outer edge of the left foot for half happy baby on the other side. Still drilling that right hip down. And release. Good job. Let's try the knees into the chest here for a second. Rock and roll. Just resetting that low back if you need. And then draw the left knee back into the side body. So really trying to find that compression that we found on the other side. So allowing the low belly to roll. And when you're ready, take that knee across the body, coming into your twist. Maybe turning the head here feels good, maybe not. It's up to you. And don't be afraid to once again shop around for a spot to put that left knee that's going to help you get into the hips a little bit more. Sometimes I find that even holding that left knee and then rolling my hips back a touch offers a really nice resistance for the twist. Beautiful. Roll back onto your back. We're going to take constructive rest pose or broken bridge here. So feet to the outer edges of the mat. Let the knees fall into the center. And then check in with your ribs and hips. So sometimes you can use your fingers here to help you. So just make sure that you are leaving equal distance on both sides between ribs and hips. And that one hip isn't lifted more than the other. I personally get adjusted for this particular malfunction on a regular basis. So sometimes we can use auto or yoga to almost auto-correct that. And sometimes not. But it is nice to take some responsibility for your own healing. And from here, let's take hold of the outer edges of both feet. Full happy baby this time. Drawing the knees down towards the mat. Relaxing the neck and face, but rocking the hips down towards the floor. So finding a little bit of posterior tilt with the hips. Here for 3, 2, 1. Release. Excellent work. Rock and roll your way up to your seat. From here, we're going to take the right leg up towards you. Option to try to get the outer edge of the right foot into that left elbow crease. And then sit up nice and tall here. Begin to rock your leg from side to side like a baby. Sitting up nice and tall here. Maybe you find stillness. Maybe you want to find a little bit more movement here. So option to put the right hand behind you and then move the arm and leg here in a little bit of a circle action. If your knee is clicking like mine, just be sure it doesn't actually hurt. If there's no pain, then it should be okay. From here, option to stay as you are, or to try to hook that right leg over the shoulder and begin to work your way towards a compass pose. Now, the trick to compass pose is not to overthink it. So don't think about putting your knee over your shoulder because that sounds crazy. Just do. And then see how it goes. From here, release that right leg. You're gonna swing it up and over the left knee, coming into your half Lord of the Fishes. You're gonna turn towards your right. Maybe bringing the right hand behind you like a stake for the spine, Or if you want a little more, you can internally rotate the left arm. See if you can grab your right arm behind your back in a little bind. Breathe here. We're going to be here for about 5 breaths. Beautiful. Let's release that. You're going to swing the right leg behind you now. So you're coming into a almost 90-90, but a little more bent than that. Then you're going to scoop your hips underneath you with your hands placed behind. So trying to really lengthen out this right quad, and then work your way back onto your elbows. If you do have the space, option to go all the way down onto your back. Now, a lot of us do not have the space, me being one of those people, but if you want a little more, I will demonstrate just briefly. So keep tucking those hips underneath. Then you're going to come down onto your back, an option to interlace those fingers around the left knee. So it's a really deep quad stretch. As I said, this is not the most ideal version of the pose for me, so I will be on my elbows. But take what feels good for your body. Beautiful. Begin to work your way back up. You're going to take the right leg out in front of you now. Left leg is going to come into the high inner thigh. Reach up nice and tall here. Then on an exhale, work your way forwards over that right leg. Option to grip for opposite wrist around the front foot, or to just come down to any spot on the leg. Don't worry too much about what it looks like. Focus on those hips. From here, release the hands, crawl your way over to the left. Bring the left hand down, scooch that left knee underneath you, and then swing the right arm up overhead. You're in this modified side plank, pressing into the outer edge of the right foot and pushing the hips forwards. Maybe you feel this in that top hip. If not, you can come down onto your left elbow and swing that right arm over the head even more. Once again, trying to press into the outer edge of that right foot. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Come back into a tabletop position. Big toes together, knees apart. Roll your way down, child's pose. Walk the hands back in towards the knees. And we'll swing the legs in front of us, taking the other side. So you can take the left foot now into the right elbow crease. And draw that leg up towards the chest, maybe rocking it from side to side. And if the elbow crease does not work for you, do not fret. Just drawing the leg up close to the chest will do the trick. If you want more, you can take some circles here with the elbow and the leg, kind of a fun body awareness activity. Also nice for hip mobility. From here, don't think, just do. Toss left leg over left shoulder, and then begin to pull into your compass pose. An excellent exercise in mental flexibility here. Just trying something instead of setting walls or barriers for yourself, those self-imposed limitations that we put in place ever so often when we don't need to. You can begin to come out of your compass pose and swing that left leg over the right, coming into your half Lord of the Fishes. Option to give the right leg a hug. Use that left hand to support the spine, or you can take your right arm, draw it through, and bind behind the back. We're going to be here for about 5 breaths. And then when you're ready, release that. Take the left leg back behind you now. Scoop the hips underneath you so your hands are behind you. Really trying to tip the hips forwards. And then begin to work your way down onto the elbows, or further if you like. So if you recall, that variation from the other side was coming onto the sole of the right foot and then drawing the knee close to the chest. When you're ready, when you feel even, begin to work your way up. Take that left foot forwards, right foot comes high on the inner thigh. Sit up nice and tall here. And then lean your way over that left leg. When you're ready, begin to walk those hands back in, turn to your right, and you're gonna scooch that right leg underneath you a little bit more. Right hand comes down. You're pressing into the outer edge of the left foot, sending the hips forwards, and then bringing that left bicep up by the left ear, finding a nice long stretch here. If you want more, you can drop down onto the elbow and find a little more of a stretch through the side body. Still trying to keep that left foot on the ground. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Come on out, come on onto your tail. We're gonna take Paschimottanasana, or your seated forward fold. Hands can come down by the hips. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. Exhale, lean your way forwards. You can take whatever arm bind, or arm position that you want here. No arm balances, please. Feeling that compression in the belly and the hips. And then begin to walk the hands back up. You're going to take your legs out to the outer edges of the mat. Place the hands by the hips. Inhale, lift the chest. Maybe walk the hips back a little bit. Finding a little bit of a tilt with the pelvis. And then exhale, make your way forwards. Leaning in between the legs. If you want a little bit more, you can take the right shoulder, hook it under the right knee, left shoulder, hook under the left knee, and then stretch the arms out to the side and begin to work those legs towards straight. And when you're ready, begin to make your way out. And we're going to come into our pancake. So you might want to turn sideways on your mat for this. So you can take the legs far out and straddle and begin to work your way forwards here. So taking your time, maybe you spend some time on the elbows. Do try to keep the toes facing sort of to the ceiling. Don't worry too much about what it looks like. It is a deep stretch class, so we are just here to feel good. It's yoga. It's not anything else. When you're ready, begin to walk the hands back in. One more pose for us today. It's frog pose. I'm sorry in advance, but we will do this much more nicely than we would if we were young ballerinas, as a lot of us were. So take that left side of the mat, roll it in. You're going to place your knee on it. Right side of the mat, roll that in. Place your knee on it. And then make your way into your frog. Maybe coming down onto the elbows, the belly. Take your pick. And coming into your version of frog. And as always, don't be afraid to adjust as soon as you get here. Finding the position that best suits you. And really begin to notice here what the extension of your exhales can do for you. I was spending a little bit longer eliminating the air from your lungs can help you ease into this pose, finding a little more peace. And when you're ready, begin to make your way out. You can let your mat roll back to where it was. And that is the last pose for today's practice. If you do feel you need a pigeon pose, which you might, go ahead and take that now. But if you would like, come into Savasana with me. Come into Savasana with me. And we will begin our relaxation process. Bit of a different Shavasana today. Let's ball our right hand into a fist. I want you to pick up your right arm and squeeze every single muscle in it as hard as you can for 3, 2, 1. Release it down onto the mat. Left hand into a ball. Lift it up, squeeze every single muscle in the left arm for 3, 2, 1. Release. From your right foot, you're gonna squeeze it, point it really hard, flex every single muscle in the leg for 3, 2, 1. Release. Other leg. Point the foot, lift it up just slightly, squeezing every single muscle for 3, 2, 1. Release. Same thing with the glutes and low belly. Squeeze everything for 3, 2, 1. Release. Upper belly and shoulders. Squeeze everything for 3, 2, 1. Release. Squeeze everything into the center of your face. So scrunching the nose and the eyes, everything into the middle for 3, 2, 1. Release. One more with the face for 3, 2, 1. Release. One big exhale to completely release the tension in the body. Welcome to Shavasana. You can stay here as long as you like, as long as you need. When you are ready to come out, please be sure to spend a little bit of time in your seated posture just to close your practice. I will leave you here today. The highest in me bows to the highest in each and every one of you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. See you soon.